الله أكبر.
حي على الصلاة.
الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
I rise, giving all praise to the Most High Allah, and the highest of honors to His Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Islam. I also give honors to the forerunner, Marcus Mosiah Garvey. I give honors to the Moorish Science Temple of America, subordinate temple number 19. I give honors to our Sheikh staff. I give honors to our noble vanguards who keep the peace, and I give honors to our guests. Let's all take a look at chapter 7 in our Circle 7 Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, chapter 7. We have to say Islam. Islam. Chapter 7, the friendship of Jesus and Lamas. Jesus explains to Lamas the meaning of truth. Among the priests of Jagannath was one who loved the Jewish boy. Lamas Brahmas was the name by which the priest was known. One day as Jesus and Lamas walked alone in Plaza Jagannath, Lamas said, "My Jewish master, what is truth?" And Jesus said, "Truth is the only thing that changes not." In all the world there are two things. The one is truth, the other is falsehood, and falsehood that which seems to be. Now truth is aught and has no cause, and yet it is the cause of everything. Falsehood is not, and yet it is the manifest of right. Whatever has been made will be unmade. That which begins must end. All things that can be seen by human eyes are manifests of aught, are not, and so must pass away. The things we see are but reflexes just appearing, while the ethers vibrate so, and when conditions change, they disappear. The holy breath is truth, is that which was and is and evermore to be. It cannot change nor pass away. Lamas said, "You answer well. Now what is man?" And Jesus said, "Man is the truth and falsehood strangely mixed. Man is the breath made flesh. So truth and falsehood are conjoined in him. And they strive, and naught goes down in man as truth abides." Islam. Again, Lamas asked, "What do you say of power?" And Jesus said, "It is a manifest. It is the result of force. It is but naught. It is illusion, nothing more. Force changes not, but power changes as the ethers change. Force is the will of Allah and is omnipotent. And power is that which in manifest directed by the breath. There is power in the winds, a power in the waves, a power in the lightning stroke, a power in the human arm, a power in the eye. The ethers cause these powers to be, and thought of Elohim, of angel, man, or other thinking things directs the force. When it has done its work, the power is no more." Again, Lamas asked, "Of understanding, what have you to say?" And Jesus said, "It is the rock on which man builds himself. It is the gnosis of the ought and of the naught, of falsehood and of truth. It is the knowledge of the lower self, the sensing of the powers of man himself." And Lamas asked, "Of wisdom, what have you to say?" And Jesus said, "It is the consciousness that man is aught, that Allah and man are one, that naught is not, that power is but illusion, that heaven and earth and hell are not above, around, below, but in, which in the light of aught becomes the naught, and Allah is all." Lamas asked, "Pray, what is faith?" And Jesus said, "Faith is the surety of the omnipotence or omnipotence of Allah and man, the certainty that man will reach the deific life. Salvation is a ladder reaching from the heart of man to the heart of Allah. It has 3 steps. Belief is first, and this is what man thinks perhaps is truth. And faith is next, and this is what man knows is truth. Fruition is the last, and this is man himself, the truth. Belief is lost in faith, and in fruition, faith is lost. And man is saved when he has reached deific life, when he and Allah are one. Islam. So just for a few moments, I just want to give a quick demonstration on faith. So Jesus, in his conversations with Lamas, he demonstrates faith. Well, he actually breaks down truth and some other concepts before he gets to faith, before he's asked about faith. Then when he gets to faith, he goes into salvation. And he says salvation is a ladder reaching from the heart of man to the heart of Allah. And it has 3 steps. Gratitude, brother. All right, so salvation he demonstrates as a ladder with 3 steps. So we're just going to draw a ladder, and hopefully you can visualize this ladder with the 3 steps. It's 3 steps from the heart of man to the heart of Allah. All right, so it has 3 steps. Belief is the first. Belief is the first step. And the name of this is the salvation ladder. All right, so what is belief? Belief is what man thinks perhaps is truth. And faith is next, and this is what man knows is truth. All right. All right, so faith, what man knows is truth. What is truth?
Truth is art.
Truth is art.
Art is Allah.
Art is Allah. All right. We'll say art is Allah. What else? What else do we say about truth? If you look at 10, it says the holy breath is truth. We'll stay with truth for just a moment. Anything else about truth?
It never changes.
It never changes. We know that Allah doesn't change, right? It never changes. All right, so what else does the prophet give us about faith? It's the surety of the omnipotence of Allah in man, the certainty that man will reach deific life. So we have, we'll stay with faith. We have a surety and a certainty. So look at how this breaks down. Faith is what man knows is truth. So that means you're going to have a knowledge of art and a knowledge of Allah and a knowledge of the Holy Breath. That knowledge, in other words, is a surety and a certainty. So basically, it's the knowledge of the fact of Allah. So a lot of times we talk about faith as, it etymologically can break down to trust, but faith actually goes beyond trust. You can have trust in something that isn't a fact. Many people say that they have a trust in the Most High, but don't act accordingly as if they have that trust. But when you have a knowledge of something, then you act a little differently, don't you? If I have knowledge that I have a check coming in the mail tomorrow because I have the tracking number and, and I can check it when exactly that check hits and I can make it to the bank and all that stuff, you act a little differently than if you just trust that that party that was supposed to send you the check sent you the check. You act a little differently, don't you? So in the same way, we as Moorish Americans must act differently, saying that if we reach the second step of the salvation ladder and have faith, we ought to act like we have a knowledge of the truth. Many people claim to be Moors or Moorish Americans, but they'll give you a demonstration on atheism or something. They're not acting in the knowledge of Allah. They're not acting in the surety that man will reach deific life. And I want us to be aware of where a lot of this talk comes from, this atheism talk comes from. You have a gentleman, Carolus Linnaeus, that's wrong, Linnaeus, and Johann Blumenbach. All right, so these gentlemen, Europeans, atheists, gratitude, brother. So not only were they atheists, they were scientists, but what did they come up with? Anybody know? Or what were they a big part of at that time in the 17 and 1800s? What did they do? They labeled you what?
Negro. Oh.
They labeled you Negro and black and colored. Linnaeus came up with those color codes. The European is the so-called white man, and Asians are yellow, and had all these different colors for all of these different nationalities. Well, hey, if you cling to names such as these, then guess what else you're clinging to? You're not clinging to the knowledge of the truth. The Sheiks like to give measures from the Piscean text of the Holy Bible. Real quick, I want to look at the book of Hebrews in the New Testament. And, scholars debate as to who wrote the book of Hebrews, but right now they'll just say, it's an anonymous author. So, we know it's our ancestors. So. Look at our Hebrews 11:1. It says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." All right. So we have surety, we have certainty, we have substance, and a substance is something that's actually tangible. Substance of things hoped for, and then you have evidence. All right. So if I have faith in something, then there's evidence of that. Islam?
Islam.
I have faith in Allah because I can go outside and there are actually trees that bear fruit that a person can go up to it and you can take the fruit off of the tree and you can eat it.
That's right.
And you can sustain your life. That's just not something that happened. And if we look at chapter 10 in the book of Hebrews, now the just shall live by faith, but if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. The just shall live by faith. What are our 5 highest principles? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Justice being one of our 5 highest principles requires us to live by faith. It requires us to live in the knowledge of truth, of Allah, and of the Holy Breath. If you look at Hebrews 11:6, it says, but without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to, and it says God, must believe that he is, which is right here on the first step, and that he's a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. So here we have belief and faith demonstrated. So it's impossible to please Allah if you don't have any faith. And again, we have some that aren't even on the first step of the salvation ladder. All right, faith is next, and this is what man knows is truth. Fruition is the last, and this is man himself the truth. Fruition. Fruition is man himself the truth. So when you get to that fruition, you get to that truth, and that's when you reach that deific life when man and Allah are one. Islam? Have any questions? If not, I'll leave you as I came in peace.
Allahu Akbar.
حي على الصلاة
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
حي على الصلاة
Allah